One-star reviews in your city are probably outrageous, but what if you were to search the entire United Kingdom for shocking one-star reviews? Well, that's exactly what I've done. I have found the most shocking one-star reviews across the UK, and today I'm going to put them to the test. However, just like Ryan Trahan, I have to leave a 5-star review at each restaurant, but I can't lie. Oh, one more thing. Whichever restaurant comes out on top, I'm going to paint their logo and personally deliver it to them. First, we're going to Birmingham. This restaurant has some of the wildest reviews I've ever seen. Lilav said, "I found blood in my wrap. Terrible hygiene and disgusting." 1 star. Okay, what? Are you sure it wasn't ketchup, Lilav? There's no way I'm testing this one. We've got I keep complaining there are no ice drinks and Darshit complaining of too much ice in his coffee. I don't know who to believe, so I'm gonna have to test this one for myself. Nathan said, "Staff were friendly, but my cheeseburger looked like it got stamped on. Can clearly see an imprint. Disappointing." 1 star. And he posted not one, but 3 pictures of his burger. And to be fair, it does look like it was stepped on. But the question is, by who? I'm a regular customer, but this was a terrible experience. I was refused toilet access unless I downloaded their app. Absolutely ridiculous. I will never return. 1 star. You know what? I do need to use the restroom, but I don't have the app. So this is the perfect opportunity to test this review. Here's Colin's review. Food is definitely fast. That is why it's not cooked properly. A couple of good things I would say about McDonald's. They help you keep fit by getting you to run. Oh, well, that's good. Back and forth to the restroom. Not good, especially if I can't get access to the restroom. This is going to be a tough restaurant to give 5 stars. But at least I've got Nick supporting me. Who are these people who have rated this McDonald's 5 star? It must be the management putting on the good reviews. I'm going in. I'm going to places with some of the craziest reviews I could find in the UK. But if I survive this one, I got myself an ice frappe, a chicken wrap, some french fries, because heck, why not? And a cheeseburger. Okay, the first thing to test is the burger. Is it stepped on? Let's give it a try. Time to see if the ice frappe is full of ice or it has no ice. And let me tell you, it had just the right amount of ice. So those reviews are busted. The moment you've all been waiting for. I finished my meal, but I have one last review to test. I need to use the restroom. I managed to use the restroom, no questions asked. We've made it to Bristol, the city famous for its... What's Bristol famous for? I don't actually know. Help me out. Anyway, what I do know is that KFC behind me has some of the most shocking reviews I've come across. Let's start with Sydney. Amazing staff, very warm and welcome, and very good service. 1 star. I can't tell if this is sarcasm or a star rating accident. Can somebody explain? We've got Laura next giving us a tongue twister. Try saying that quickly. Here's Rich's review. Terrible food and service. Just sat in the car waiting for my food. We've seen several rats. 1 star. Now that's a problem, but at least they're not inside the restaurant. The bun was stale. The cheese was cold and solid. Service was slow. The atmosphere? Not a single clean table in sight. Floors covered in rubbish. I'm surprised the rats aren't sat at the tables. 1 star. So first we've got rats running around the back. Now we have rats inside with bad table manners. Now that is unacceptable. Here's Cowboy's review. The food might be okay, but no one cleans anything here. The tables are all full of rubbish. Even behind the counter there is rubbish on the floor that no one has bothered to pick up. 1 star. You see, Cowboy's not the only person complaining of rubbish on tables, so I'll keep an eye on that. Okay, this next one is actually quite concerning. Maggots were in my kitchen come crawling out. Disgusting. Don't eat here. I never will eat KFC again in my life. 1 star. Now I know maggots are full of protein, but I'm no Bear Grylls. So if I find maggots in my food, that might be the end of this video. I'm going inside.
Thank you.
Guys, I was trying to order my food, but then I saw this. Don't worry guys, that's not a real rat. I edited it in. That's the rat from the Ratatouille movie. Here's another one. Seriously though, I didn't see any rats or rubbish inside, but we haven't checked outside yet. It's finger licking good. Guys, I've got my order. Let's open it up and see what we've got inside. We've got the tower burger, got some gravy, a couple of hot wings and some fries. Before we start eating, let's check for the rats. No rats in sight. But it's the maggots that I'm actually worried about. This tower burger is fire. But then I remember what's waiting for me at the next restaurant. However, the food here was amazing, so there is one thing left to do. I think I have enough to leave a review. Next, I'm heading over to London with an appetite for some grilled chicken. I've come all the way to London for that Nando's behind me because it has some of the craziest 1-star reviews. Here's Marty's review. Absolutely heaving. Queue of people waiting for tables. Asked to look at the menu what's waiting. Looked to be chicken, chicken or chicken. 1 star. It's a chicken shop, Marty. That's like going to the pool and complaining it's wet. But thankfully João Tavares had a beautiful time. Was lovelies. We was well attended and on times. Customer services was very good. The restaurant toilets was very clean. Overall, we were so happy with families. 1 star. This is like telling someone you're my absolute best friend. You saved my life. I love you like a brother. Please never speak to me again. I love the vibe, João, but you're sending mixed signals. Minerva said, I haven't been in Nando's in the last 2 years. 1 star. Minerva, I'm gonna see what you've been missing out on for the last 730 days. This lunch is dedicated to Minerva. But guys, Josie's review gave me serious second thoughts about coming here. Moldy bread and found what looked like maggots in the food. Absolutely disgusting, the place needs to be shut down. 1 star. When I read this review, I thought to myself, she could be making this up, but then I saw the attached photos. Now if you're squeamish, this is the time to look away. When I first saw these photos, my internet brain kicked in. I thought, there's a 90% chance Josie found the pictures on Google, attached them to a 1-star review, and wanted to watch the world burn. So I had to investigate. I spent way too long scrolling through every customer photo of this exact Nando's. I wasn't looking at the chicken, I was looking at the furniture, because Josie's photo has a very unique stripy background. And then, I found it. Look at the stripy fabric on this seat. It is an exact match to the background of Josie's maggot photo. Josie is telling the truth. The threat is real. Wish me luck. I was a bit apprehensive about what I might find in the food, so I decided to sit outside. Guys, we've made it inside, but the seat patterns look different here, so I'm not sure if Josie posted the photos from the same restaurant. Let's see what Minerva's been missing for the last 730 days. Oh, beautiful. Thank you very much. Time to test Josie's review. I don't see any uninvited guests. Ready for this? Guys, this might be my new favorite. Guys, the chicken was a 10 out of 10. And if that doesn't deserve a 5 star, I don't know what will. Guys, I absolutely devoured my meal. Jiao gave this place 1 star, but he said the toilet was very clean. Let's verify. I have enough to leave a review. We've made it to Leeds and I'm outside Wetherspoons. For those of you outside the UK, Wetherspoon is one of the UK's biggest pub chains, known for its cheap pints and massive portions of pub grub. But it's the 1-star reviews that bring me here today. First up, Richard JP said, really bad. Slow service. It was better when it was closed for refurbishment. 1 star. What Richard is saying here is, the service peaked when there was literally no one employed there to talk to him. Honestly, relatable. 0 human interaction is a solid 5 stars. Then we have Chisel Rapper who says, the owner needs a haircut and the food is frozen. 1 star. I don't know what his trim has to do with the kitchen, but speaking of the food, here's Danny's review. I never understood why people at Wetherspoons began drinking so early, but then I tasted the breakfast. 1 star. Now Danny clearly loves it, but the breakfast seems to be the main culprit for everyone else. However, what I'm really concerned about is Big Jim's review. He said, absolutely fuming. I'm not being funny, but what on earth is this? And guys, he actually attached a photo. Are you ready? What did you even order, Big Jim? Really? I'm gonna have to get the breakfast myself, because if they serve me an actual worm, I'm leaving. But it gets worse. Caroline left the review saying, can't go to this pub if you want to laugh. Was told we were laughing too loud and had to calm down. Never in 50 years have I heard that. Insider tip. Don't laugh. 1 star. Insider tip, don't laugh? I spent my entire childhood getting in trouble for laughing in class. It's a physical condition. I can't help it. Now Caroline says if I giggle, I get kicked out. I drove 3 hours to get here. Stakes are too high. Wish me luck. Good morning. Guys, I'm not a hairstylist, but the staff's hair looked just fine to me, so I ordered myself a full English breakfast to see if it's really as bad as some people say. While I'm waiting for my breakfast, here's Wetherspoons Google Images. It's just a standard Wetherspoons, nothing Wait, what? Could those be Caroline's boots? I guess we'll never know. My breakfast arrived within a couple of minutes, so the service was incredibly fast. But this place is right next to Leeds main train station, so during peak hours it could be a different story. The breakfast was hot and tasty, but I couldn't stop thinking about the boots and what happened to Caroline. So in fear that I might remember an old joke and burst out laughing, I quickly finished my meal and headed to the restroom. The bathroom was sparkling clean, so there was one last thing left to do. As I headed towards my final destination, I couldn't help but think how on earth I was going to paint a restaurant logo. I'm so bad at painting. Anyways, that's a bridge I'll have to cross later. We're in the beautiful city of Liverpool, the birthplace of the Beatles, and one of Britain's most beloved football clubs. Manchester United is only 30 minutes drive down the road. But I'm here specifically because that pub behind me has some of the most hilarious reviews I've ever seen. Here's Carrie's review. Could be better. Only ended up being here for 1 drink. The weather was sadly just cooling down again. But alas, nice garden. 1 star. She gave it 1 star because it got a bit chilly outside. You're in a pub garden in England, mate, not the Maldives. What did you expect? Let's find a proper food review, shall we? Moira said, never been in, just passed it to go and visit a friend, so can't really comment. 1 star. You didn't even go in, Moira. You know what? Let's just move on. Unknown said, I ordered chicken nuggets for my daughter because she's a picky eater, and they was brown and vile. They smell like fish. Mackey's next time, cheaper and doesn't stink of fish. 1 star. Look, if my chicken nuggets smell like fish, somebody in that kitchen has some explaining to do. So I'm gonna test that. Leslie said, not a complainer. Horrendous. Waited 45 minutes for cold food. Asked where my grandson's meal was and it was sat waiting on the bar to be served. Avoid at all costs. There must not be a qualified chef present. I am not a complainer, but this was the worst I have ever encountered. Horrible experience. I am only writing this to save anyone else my experience. 1 star. Look, I'm not a complainer either. But could you please throw a couple of commas in there next time? I almost suffocated trying to read that in one breath. Seriously though, 45 minutes is a long time for chicken nuggets. Next. Toilets on par with the toilet on Train Spotting that Ewan McGregor went swimming in. I went for a call of nature to find what could only be described as a huge gorilla finger in Trap 1, with the smell registering instantly due to it being at least 6 inches proud of the waterline of the toilet bowl. So I then had to move into Trap 2, as I was touching cloth and this turtle head was coming out whether I liked it or not. However, the crisis continued when there was no loo roll in Trap 2, so I had to wipe my bum on my socks. Anyway, I carried on with my evening, but was shocked to find several hours later the said gorilla finger in Trap 1 was still there acting like it owned the place. 1 star. I thought I was coming here to test food reviews, not to go gorilla trekking. I'm going in. I went straight to the back to check the garden, and Caris was right. It was nice. Guys, it's so hot out here, I had to open up the parasol. So I ordered myself a cold bevy and found myself watching golf, which is weird. I never watch golf. Anyway, chicken nugget was not on the menu, so I went inside to ask the staff. Do you have any chicken nuggets? I had to order from the kids menu. The lady asked me twice, are you sure you want to order from the kids menu? Are these gonna smell like fish? You ready? Nah, they didn't smell like fish. But I wasn't brave enough to order a kid's meal on its own, so I got myself some lasagna to go with it. Guys, I finished my meal, but there is one last review to test. Guys, there's no sign of any gorillas. I'm ready to leave my review. But my journey isn't over yet. I went back home to do what I promised in the beginning. So I came back for the best restaurant I tested in this video, and you guys won.
Thank you so much.
Best
We are proud of our team.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.